fun is that? Happy Halloween, everybody. Hello, hello. My goodness, there's a lot of us spooky cats. Thank you to the lovely person that mailed this to me. As you can see, I am ready to read people's cards. Let me put my eyeballs on. Hello. Let me take a look. 500 people to say hello to. What do you think of my outfit? This is a Hamsa. Keeps away the evil eye. We've got 5 candles burning here. We burned a little sage. Tonight, I don't think we should do too much politics. I was thinking instead we might do readings about people who had passed to see their side of things. Have a little fun tonight, not take it too seriously. Anybody who has passed, I think we should do. But I did scan the map, so I should probably tell you a little bit about what I found when I did the 50 states. I'm going to make my predictions tonight based on the feeling. But before we do that, let's say hello to everybody, because there's so many of us. And that's a wonderful thing. And I'm very humbled that you would decide to spend Halloween with me. So thank you. Hello, Candy Mullen. Welcome. Judy Ann Jamerson. Happy Halloween. Impish Alert. Let me know if you'd like to be a moderator. We need a couple more moderators. Carla, Becca, hello. The Basso, hello. Thank you for moderating. Terry Friedman in the house. Mark Rhodes is somewhere around. I didn't see that. Happy Halloween to Julia Tirado. I think, did we say her name? Love, peace, and happy Halloween. Love, peace, happy Halloween to you. Susan Fortier, Terry Solaris, Dove Girl, Karen Anderson, Jeanette Moran, Susan Broshin, Fillerin. Hi, Fillerin. Glad you're here. Cindy Carr, welcome. Gretchen Williams. We'll be saying hi to everybody as we go along. But I do like to give gratitude, especially to people that came early. I know they sometimes have to wait. So I scanned the map. So does everybody want to hear what it looked like a couple days ago? The election map. So I think it's going to shift blue from, I know people are concerned about things balancing out with some of the Trump people voting. I might have to take it's a little too far. Oh, that's better. Better. But I think Florida's going to go blue. I think Florida's going to go blue. I think Georgia's going to go blue. I think North Carolina's going to go blue. I think Arizona's going to go blue. I think Michigan and Pennsylvania will go blue. And I'm thinking it's very possible we'll see Iowa go blue. And the reason why is because when I went into the energy over Iowa, it was no bueno, no bueno. The people in Iowa are not happy. Ohio, I'm still on the fence with. So I think we will know election night who the president-elect is. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to be narrow. I don't think it's going to be too close to call. I think that we're going to know. Yeah, I think he takes Wisconsin. I think he takes all the swing states. Biden does. Texas, I think might, it's possible. They've never had this many votes before, but, I think Texas and Ohio are too close to call at this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if they both went blue. I mean, it goes back to the meditations we've done in the past where people keep saying the same thing over and over again, that the president failed. He failed to, the other way. He failed to lead in the time of an emergency. So that is the story. Let's see how we're doing. Let me catch up. There's also been some really weird things that have happened. Key Republican strongholds got hit by the hurricane, and those were folks that didn't get ballots mailed to them. So that, sorry about the cough. I still have a cough. Sinusitis. So there's a lot of reasons I think that tippet blew. So listen, I have a couple things to talk about. Oh, Celtic Terrell. Hi, I was just over at her. They were cracking me up. They were so damn funny. Anyway, so I was hiking in the woods today looking for mushrooms, not the hallucinogenic type. I know people, but I did find some interesting ones. It was mostly Bolitas. Anyway, so I was hiking on the trail and I saw this big white mushroom, and I thought, I have to touch that mushroom. So I thought it might be a death cap. So I said to myself, never leave a trail when you're hiking by yourself. Always let people know where you are. I'm going to break all the rules. I'm going to pay for this. Sure enough, I went sliding straight down, and I hurt this. Oh my God, you see how swollen? So what do I do in a situation like this? Because I got to read cards. My culpa. We're going to have to do the full Monty tonight, right? 3-card Monty. Oh, hello, Rhonda. Yeah, puffballs and parasols. And actually, I saw a bunch of parasols, and it was really cool. I picked one and I rubbed it, and it rubbed yellow. And that's a sign that it can be one of the toxic varieties. Yeah, you can see that big lump? It's not broken, but it's been, yeah. So I'm just going to do like 3 cards. I'm joking, 3-card Monty, but basically, since they're blitzes anyway, we really don't need more than 3 cards. So yeah. All right. Yes. If anyone wants to send me some Reiki, I will absolutely take that. Let's do, did anyone have questions about what I was seeing on the map? I think Biden could take approximately 51 to 2. I'm going to predict conservatively 51 to 52% in Florida. Because I was looking, it's partly science, because I was looking at the early returns. And if Biden takes 50% of the independent vote, which is conservative, he would take 52% of the vote. But the majority of self-identified independents are going with Biden. So if you look at the early returns, right now, even if Trump's people flood on Tuesday, it would be the best he could hope for would be 47%, because right now, if you're just going by the ballots, he's at about 44%. So it's now 44 to 52% if you're assuming people all go straight down party lines and you divide the independents in half. Also, when you look at the numbers of people voting in Florida, the vast majority are women. And that doesn't bode well for Trump either. Something like 56% of voters this year are women. So, we all have to go out and vote, but it looks pretty good. Yeah, I think there are a lot of Republicans because when this is all over, they're going to have that conversation about why did you change? People that didn't know, people who had voted for Trump in the past, and they didn't know until the time they pushed the lever. Those are the people that the media is going to want to talk to. But what's interesting when I go into it, when I go into the meditation, they say it was failure to lead during the time of COVID. That if the economy had stayed great, if there had never been COVID, they would have voted for him. Everything else didn't matter to them. Thank you, Astrid. That's very kind of you. All right, so we're doing 3 cards. Yes, arnica. Homeopathic. 30C. Maybe you could do 6 or 12 because it's local, right? Let's do a meditation and let's go in and take a look. All right, so let's just do a prayer first. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the future, for the people we love, for Gaia, and even to help those we have strife with. And together we say, Amen. Changed it up a little bit there. Thank you, Miss Kim. Very kind of you. Oh, hi, Marie. Good to see you here. Happy Halloween to you as well. All right, so we're going to pull 3 cards for the group. What do you say? Should we do a group reading? We'll do 3-card Monty. Message for the group from Spirit for tonight. What does Spirit want to tell you? First card we received was the World. Very positive card. It's the last of the major arcana. It's the end of the road for the fool, and then the journey begins again. It's the person who attains what they want, but then they begin the journey again. It's interesting that the World was where we begin the reading, and then the second card we pulled is the Fool, who begins the journey. So this is the end of a chapter in our lives, and now we go forward into the future, collectively, into the unknown. However, the future that awaits us is somewhat uncertain, as there is a thief approaching. The thief's card comes, which could indicate that we may collectively be the victim of someone who attempts to steal something and get away with it. So even though Biden wins this election, we could still see some resistance from Trump because we're all getting it. Yeah, thank you, Super Queen B. Did I give gratitude to everyone who donated to the channel? Sagin Gilead, where is your familiar? Well, there's a picture of her right there, and now she's at my feet. Mila, you gonna come sit with me? Yep, you coming? Yep. Yep. That's for you. Come on. You coming? You coming, Mila? This is your chair. Come on, let's go. Come on. Yeah, she'll be here. We're going live. So, yes, hello. Hello to you, my fellow sensitive being. Yes, we've got to be careful with those, Mila. Remember what happened last time? You burned one of your whiskers. Yes, you did. I remember. Didn't hurt yourself, but it was startling. So, Halloween treats for me and Mila. I went to the store today. I went grocery shopping. I bought bananas, oat milk. They said you can always tell a Biden voter from a Republican based on their refrigerator. So, yeah, I got lettuce, bananas, tomatoes, Nothing interesting. Thank you, Christopher. All right, let's take a look at the election. Are we ready? See if Spirit will let us. What's going to happen on Tuesday? I'm very worried about violence in southern Pennsylvania. Oh, here's election day. We win. Stress the day of. Thank you, Storm Ewald. Stormin. Irma, hi. Oh, you a nice Jewish girl too? That's cool. Cheryl Chapman, hello. Thank you very much. Stress. This is where we're at right now. The day of the election, we will celebrate. The women come together again. I think it goes back to what had happened when I went into the remote on Florida, the Cuban woman. He thinks he's got the Cuban vote, but he doesn't have the Cuban female vote. He underestimated that a lot. He's assuming all Republicans are going to vote for him. He doesn't understand that Republican women are gone. Be careful, Mila. Don't tip that over. Okay? Strong female emerges, the perfect judge, Yehudit, true justice. It's also Nancy Pelosi. It's a fire sign female, often an Aries or strong female. The clarification card is that we will leave a situation that has left us in exile. The poverty card. The clarification over the celebration of women, a good man comes. He leads. I think that's Biden. It's not the King of Swords. The final outcome for the woman, Two of Swords. So there's some kind of an impasse that's going to happen where, yeah, I think that the president's not going to accept the results, but it won't matter because at that point, I think we're going to take the House and the Senate too, because the fact that Pelosi has that much power, has Pelosi's cards, leads me to think that there's really nothing he can do. It's not like he has the power of the Senate or the House. I want to see the next couple months how much damage he's going to do till January. Let's mix these around. And then we should do some The Dead. Okay, Trump's reaction to the election. He's been advised to let it go and to that he can't win and to bow out because by Tuesday there's the hanged man. He's being asked to resign. It's going to be obvious by Tuesday. I really think so. I don't think that the Republican Party, I think they're really out of touch with this planet, with this country. Then we move into the time of the Ace of Wands, which is a time of rebuilding for Trump. I think he has to resign because his outcome is the Queen of Cups. So that is the card of the dreamer, the wishful thinking, but straight up, it's also a desire for a peaceful resolution. I'll do just a clarification. Yeah, Republicans did vote for Biden in large amounts because you can see here a coalition took the leap of faith, and then the star. Americans really did not like this president. Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I'm shocked that a Republican could even win in Georgia without cheating at this point, because they're disgusted with the Republican Party in Georgia. And they're disgusted with the Republican Party in Iowa right now. It's a very embarrassing thing if you think of yourself as the head of the household and your wife warned you not to vote for Trump, and then against her better judgment, she took your advice, and now she's sitting there on the couch with you, giving you that look. Now do you believe me? So now you've got egg on your face in front of your wife, who warned you this was going to happen, but against her better judgment, she voted for him. That's playing out all over the Midwest right now. The only reason a guy like that is going to vote for Trump after everything in an environment like that with his wife, the only way that he's going to vote is if he keeps it a secret from her, and because he's too arrogant to admit he was wrong. Because Iowa is in bad shape right now. Much of the Midwest is in bad shape, and much of Louisiana and Florida as well. They just keep getting hit by this bad weather. Thank you, Marie. It's very kind of you. All right. So, does anyone want to communicate with the dead? That's why we give so much money to the Anti-Defamation League here and the ACLU and the Civil Liberties. We have to do it because, unfortunately, it is like a virus. We have to keep. Sorry, but I still have this cough. It's probably going to go until spring. Somebody wanted a message from RBG, John Lewis, Sean Connery. Ooh, this is getting really good. Well, I've got one hand that works, so let's make a list of the dearly departed, shall we? And see if they have a message for us. All right. First on the list. Ooh, I love Princess Diana. Do you remember what Princess Diana said when she came in the last time? That was when Meghan was still living in Britain. She said, Meghan's leaving. You better go with her or she's gone. So, yeah, it was awesome. Beau Biden. Oh, God, please don't. I don't want to do that. Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor. No, I'm not going to do anybody's personal, though. It's just going to be like famous people today. All right. Oh, FDR. That's fun. All right. We got a few people to get started. Ooh, Edgar Casey. RBG. Somebody had asked about RBG. Okay. Let's see. Prince. Ooh, who doesn't love Prince? All right. Let's do this. Ooh, Marilyn Monroe. Supposedly she doesn't. I know someone that channels her, and she really wants to be left alone. He's had her. She's the equivalent of like an Einstein over there. She just wants to be in her books. She's just very disinterested in partaking in any of this. She just wants to do her research. She's a very introverted, quiet person. She's actually not an extrovert, I guess. All right, let's see if we get anything from RBG. We're not doing family, we're just doing famous people. RBG. Wow, we have a great message from RBG. The first thing is that she's saying that the battle is still going, that the battle isn't over, that she walked away from the battle. The 5 of Swords to walk away. She didn't have the strength to keep the fight going as long as the fight has to go. The second card is the Ace of Cups, which would indicate blessing or sending love from the other side and encouragement, by, inspiring us. Like when I sat and meditated, and I had an awakening about the importance of respect in order that respect is necessary. Without respect, our society will collapse, and it has to start with us respecting ourselves and respecting others even when they don't respect themselves. So that was something I took away from how RBG lived her life, and it's kind of nice to see that Ace of Cups coming in from her energetically. And then the gift she gives is this recognition that it was okay in a way for her to pass on, because that passion exists in all of us, men, women, anybody who wants to live the good life unchained, without oppression. And it is the time, the unfolding of the women. And she passes on, but she hands the torch to many, many women. So we can't view it as, oh my God, what are we going to do? RBG left, because this isn't an energy that encourages helplessness in anybody. We will do the work ourselves. It's not for her to do all of the work or even to complete the work. She has done some of the work, but the time of RBG has passed. Now we've been handed the cup. We all can be that person. We can all have that integrity. And that remains the final outcome. The clarification, the connection between spirit, right? We've talked about the idea that in pre-patriarchal cultures, the woman is seen as the channel because she had a uterus. It just does. And so she gives birth. And so because of that relationship between drawing down spirit into the physical body, it was viewed that it was a higher level. Even to this day in traditional Jewish community, women are perceived of as on a higher level spiritually because of this, having this aspect. And the clarification, again, is the Fool begins the journey. And then the final outcome for the ladies is a grounding card, which is Page of Pentacles. This is something that's come up a lot as well, which is this idea that we have to ground ourselves, that we can sometimes fly off to different worlds, and we can create worlds that exist that are just as real as the physical world, but they exist in a different place, in the world of mind and imagination. Sometimes if we work hard, we can take those ideas and we can manifest or create them in this world. Page of Pentacles is an earth card. And it's also messengers of the earth, bodhisattvas, bodhisattvas of the earth, right? Let's just see my candle there. It's this idea of being in the world, being spiritual in the world, rather than feeling that we need to go off somewhere else to find meaning. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It makes me think of people like Dawkins, who found spiritual meaning in Darwin's general theory of evolution, just watching how amazing evolution was, how the beauty of evolution. All right. Let's do Princess Diana. That was a good message from RBG, wasn't it? Was that good? That was amazing. I was like, dang, maybe I should just do 3 cards from now on rather than those complicated spreads. They're really good. We're getting great information. So much easier to read. And then people won't be like, we want to see the cards. We want to see the cards. It's 3 cards. There are many RBGs now, so she can go home. Okay, message from Princess Diana. If she wants to talk to us. She was very powerful. She was a very powerful person. The first card is a magician card, the ability to manifest what you want out of life. She did manifest things. She okay. Do you want to be a dream weaver? I think dream weaver wants to be a moderator. Is that right? Okay. There we go. Any other moderator? People want to be moderators? Okay, let me know. Just help weed out. Leslie, yeah. Can you believe how clear and accurate a 3-card spread is? Whimsy should sprain her hand more often. No. She was a very powerful person. She passed into the grave. She has no ability or control over she has no control over what people say about her after she passed away. You know, if people, I don't see Claudia Cooper here, so I can't make that happen. Devil card here. To be changed, sometimes to be changed in an addictive relationship with somebody, a codependent relationship, addiction. I think that there was a lot of corruption in the royal family that she saw, but it would have been unheard of to say anything. And, you know, the pedophilia, the abuse of children, the fact that people were seen as toys and playthings. Star comes to her in the first house. She's doing great. Huh. When she passed over, she was surprised. There was some confusion. She may have also been drinking a little bit. Because there's a moon card there over at the time of her passing. It's very strange. You know, it's almost like some guy, she's talking about some guy who's in a position of authority who maybe did something bad. You know, maybe she's talking about Andrew or her ex-husband or oh, it's her ex-husband's affair with another woman, and then the new beginning. Oh, I think that this is just about the emotional state, you know, the ending of her marriage, dating other people. It was kind of like the emotional state she was in. I always get the impression when I go into her energy that William became more of a conservative and a Tory, whereas definitely Harry is the progressive, because the first time I had a lucid dream where I did a remote view with Harry, all he did, you know, he was talking about the rights of the common man and how, you know, the man is trying to keep people down. And I was just like, okay. He was like literally talking about like the man is keeping you down, and we have to do everything in our power to bring a democratic. So I mean, like he was like democratic. He was like Bernie Sanders all the way. This was like a few years. This is before he married Meghan, and I remember documenting it. But then I remember shaking my head like, what the hell? And then it came out that his wife's mother was working on with the Bernie campaign, and that you know, then they moved to California. It's like so I think that that's part of the split. You have the progressive liberals that go to California, sign up, they're voting blue. And then William is kind of between a rock and a hard place because they really want something of this tradition to survive. And it's really on thin ice with, that's kind of how so he's kind of a rock and a hard place in terms of how he raises his son and keeping certain traditions. But from Harry's perspective, when you go into Harry's energy, there's this feeling like you have an opportunity now. You're in a position of enough power where you can actually make a difference, and you should have called certain things out. Racist statements, prejudice statements, threats against Harry's family, and he chose not to do that. So that's also, he should call out racism in that community, and that really has created a rift that could be irreparable, I'm sorry to say. But it's not Meghan's problem. And it's not Harry's problem. They're simply reacting to somebody else's problem, right? Oh, thank you, Hannah. That's very kind. So that's kind of like how it looked to me as a remote viewer. But I don't know, like, what if you are William? I mean, I think probably from his perspective is that things have to go very slowly. You have to progress very slowly from his perspective. All right. People wanted to see if we could get a message from Beau Biden. These are great. Maybe I should just do 3-card Monties now. For those of you just tuning in, we're giving you the full Monty. Hello. Oh, good. Michelle's here. Monty Python. All right. Let's see if Beau Biden has anything to say. For people just tuning in, we're doing people who have passed on for Halloween. Same. He said he decided to pass on because his body, he actually in a way kind of made the decision. Michelle, he left the battle. It was an issue regarding his health. He had the strength card as the conflict, and then his final outcome, he continues the work. So it's not a stagnant or passive energy from Beau Biden. This is someone who's continued to do the work. But this is kind of an energy of somebody who their body passed on, that it got to a point where it was irreparable. Also, the treatments made it irreparable because the damage in the brain, from what I'm seeing, got too close to the pineal gland and to the central part of the brain. It came in through this way, through the central area. And at that point, everybody knew it was hopeless. So that is some aspect that prevented him from continuing to do his work or his purpose in life. Yeah. This is him leaving. He passes over due to a strength issue. Cards are very strong tonight. Is that common on Halloween? I guess it is, right? Thank you, Share Spirit. I hope I'm giving gratitude to everyone who's donated. April Showers, I hope I said thank you to you. And of course, Anna, always great to see her. Thank you for telling me I look pretty. I'm a gypsy. I will be your gypsy. Night on the White Horse. So, it's a feeling that this is a beautiful soul who is doing good work on the other side, but that he passed on because of a health situation. He couldn't continue on in his body. Wow, it's a very interesting way of looking at it. A person may want to stay, particularly if they're young, and try as best as they can, but there comes a point when it's simply not physically possible, and that seems to be what happened. Okay, Eleanor Roosevelt. Mila? She's fascinated by these candles. That's what she likes. Let us see. Ooh la la. I dropped the cards on the ground. So it's interesting, before we go back into this, that Trump is going to be advised to resign. His people are going to ask him, but how many times have they done that? 100? I mean, gee, a lot of these people spiritually present as if they're still working. She has a new beginning, doing the work, transforming the world. Also can be death and transformation. She's on the other side of the veil. She starts a new contract. Hold on a sec. 10 of Cups, transformation. She's doing good work. Good work on the other side. Look at that, the work, the new contract. Looks over the water. I think of the mist of Avalon, to the other side, to piercing the veil when I see that card. So I think that, it kind of goes back to this old idea of our ancestors, that when they pass on to the other side, they continue to do work in this world if they so choose. That's the idea. Very cool. All right, let us see if FDR has a message. Maybe you can tell us about this election. We're gonna win. God, there's a lot of work to do. This is not going to be easy because Trump is going to really try and make problems. It's interesting. It keeps talking about Trump hanging it up. What's interesting is that energetically, Trump really does feel terrified. I mean, he's really scared. But, I feel like electing Trump is a warning about how, it goes back to the reading we did about respect and what happens to people when they feel they have not been respected. They immediately, they may make the most irrational decisions at the point when they feel disrespected. Yeah, my concern is about protest rioting, etc. in the East, like southern Pennsylvania. I'm concerned about Michigan. It's not the same as ego because it's necessary, Terry. Respect is necessary for a society. It's part of the natural order. And to feel disrespected, a person has a right to be respected. If you disrespect somebody because you're a racist and you make a racist statement and that person's deeply wounded, we can't sneak out of it and say, oh, well, that was your ego. It can't be an attack because we refuse to take responsibility for the fact that we have the problem. I'm just using that as an example. So to disrespect somebody is really not a good thing. That's why you'll have cultures where there's just a tremendous amount of focus on manners and being polite, and it has to become mutual respect has to be the beginning of the conversation, and a desire to really listen to people. All right, Prince. See if we can get any messages from Prince. The bus that some people tried to overturn today. Which bus? I didn't know about that. Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. Okay, what are we doing now? We're gonna do a couple more, and then I'm gonna go ice my hand. I'm falling apart. I'm coughing. I've got a sinus drip. I'm just Biden's bus. People tried to in Texas. Well, too bad they're gonna lose. I mean, yeah. Okay. Prince. Oh, he has a child that passed over. He says he's with his child. Says he had a baby that that when he died, the first thing he wanted was to see his child, and that he was able to see his child, his legacy, his offspring. He was deeply traumatized and changed by the passing of his child. That's something that I see in this. Yeah, it's interesting. He's talking about how I'm very surprised by these cards. He's talking about his marriage coming to an end. Does anybody know about this? That he had a child that died and then his marriage came to an end. He's talking about, and the fact that his wife or partner was never the same again, and that the relationship ended, and it was like the relationship ended when as well. She was like the Queen of Pentacles. Then the relationship ends due to the death of his child. That it was just very sad. You know, it's kind of like talking about the breakdown of a family, the loss of a family. That's very sad. I'm surprised that that's what came in, but people are people, and they don't think, I don't think they think about their career and signing autographs when they pass on. You go into the energy of that individual, and it was somebody who was really wanting to get to I just saw someone who wanted to get to his child. Oh, my child. And then here's your child. Oh, I was looking for my child. So it was interesting. I was surprised to see that. Scalia. Oh my God, that's so sad. Oh, God, that's so sad. What an interesting man, though. That I can totally relate to that, though, that if you had a child that passed over, the first thing, if you knew you would pass, his first thought is, where's my kid? It was that kind of an energy. Okay, where is he? He must have had some understanding that there was life after death, and he must have had some faith in it with that type of energy. Okay, so John Lennon. He's also talking about his legacy and his children. Very proud of his children. Well, it's interesting to go into John Lennon's energy because he said that people gave him allowance for a lot of things, and he says people thought he was a genius even when he wasn't, and a lot of the time it wasn't genius; it was just that he was stoned or drunk. He has addiction over him. He was always fighting. He was very angry. He said he was always fighting with somebody, the police, the government. He always had to find an enemy. His life was not peaceful. His children gave him peace. Yeah, and then the gap stop, he passes on, always fighting. I think what I'm feeling in this energy is that this is someone who regrets that they wasted so much of their life always angry, always in a state of strife with others, always feeling like he had to fight, or that always there was a battle over his songs, a battle over his, his right to his music, his political, being misunderstood as an artist, feeling like he had to fight to protect his territory, his rights, his intellectual rights, fighting to protect his family. And in a way, he was right, because he talks about, he was outside of his apartment and he was assassinated. So to some extent, I don't think he thought his life was going to end like that, but he definitely talks energetically about the fact that he definitely felt in his life that he was always having to defend himself, that he wishes he had not lived such a difficult and argumentative life. He was angry. He was an angry young man. I think that's how he would describe himself. And that much of that was wasted anger. That's kind of how I would interpret it. Oh, I love George Harrison. I think he did tremendous spiritual work when he was in the world, George Harrison. His first card, the Ace of Pentacles, gifts, and sometimes it can be financial gifts from spirit. It's the person who is often receives financial blessings. But he also pulled an Ace of Cups, which is love, healing, energy coming from spirit. And then the final outcome, of course, Empress, which is the ability to create, but also to channel things from spirit. As an artist, I often look at the Empress card as the card of the artist, the writer. It's been coming up a lot lately in my personal readings with people. Many people feel re-inspired as an artist. Oh, he's talking about his children are going to be very successful. He has more than one child? I thought he only had one child. His children are going to be very successful. And then there's something about his child and marrying a woman, or his child is getting married. There's a woman here, and that the kids are getting together and making music. He's talking about the kids are getting together and making music, and also that possibly a partner or somebody that his child is in relationship with. It's almost like a family band with the wives involved, kind of like Linda McCartney, which is kind of cool, how she got involved. It's interesting. Well, everybody have fun. We got to hang out for almost an hour. Do one more. Aw, I'm gorgeous. Thanks. It looks really, you know what I did? I gave myself a shea butter treatment. So it looks, you can still see the shea in it. It smells gorgeous though. One of the fans of the channel mailed me some shea butter and essential oil creams. And I heard that it's really good for, my hair was so dry. So I went ahead and I gave myself a shea butter scalp massage last night. It smells so beautiful. Mm. Oh, they tried to knock over the Biden bus. Well, there are a lot of angry people in the world. So we're going to do one more. So obviously we're going to, I think the moderator should get first dibs. We've got time for one more. Oh my God, I love Leonard Cohen. All right, we'll do Leonard Cohen. What a spiritual person. He was, I believe, a Zen Buddhist. He was born Jewish and rather traditional, but he was also a Zen Buddhist. But he has a nice meditation card there. Also the Hierophant, which is a card that denotes spirituality. Queen of Pentacles. He was very mindful of the suffering he caused when he was alive. It was something he tried to correct at the end of his life. You know, maybe he's talking about he had a bit of a monogamy problem. He wasn't very good at it. He did have quite a few affairs. But this is really more, it's not using sexual imagery. He's not talking about that. He's talking about how mindfulness helped him be present for people and in ways that allowed him to see them. That's what he's talking about. To be of service, to be present for another person so that you can be a comfort to them and be of aid to them. And that perhaps in the past, he was kind of always on an adventure, always in his own world, his own ego, his own fame. And so consequently, he was not always kind, fighting often about business, fighting about money, possibly fighting about other women. Queen of Pentacles can be the hidden woman. And so he's just sharing how mindfulness made him more sensitive to people. Slowing down and listening made him a better person. It's an interesting thing to leave us with. One more. Somebody has been begging for Scalia. I don't have much interest in that, but you were kind enough to be patient, so I'm going to go ahead and he wrote Suzanne. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I think, I read an interview he did where he talked about Suzanne and about how it was really about being in a relationship with someone where you're in your own world with them. You build a world with that person. And she was somebody who, she brought him to a completely different, his whole life changed after he met her. They met in like a Greek Isle or something. All right, we'll do Scalia. Does he have a son who's also a judge? He's talking about being very proud of his son, who is also possibly a judge. Or does anybody know anything about what he's talking about? Maybe we should Google it. I don't know. It seems to be pride in somebody. This is his passing. That could also be helping RBG, right? Assisting somebody. It reminds me of that song, The River That You Have to Cross When You Go From One Side to the Other. That song by the Alan Parsons, you know that? Well, I sympathize completely, but there's nothing I can do. When death comes to take the guy to the other side of the river. I think it's a really cool imagery. Death takes you across the river to the other side. But he keeps talking about his son. I always like when people can go and check my remotes to see how accurate I got. Does he have a child? I believe a son who's also, I don't know. Well, we can go check that. Something about somebody young, his child, I think. Oh, and then there's his passing. Getting control of COVID could take another 4 months. They're going to try and spin it and blame the Democrats. Because when the Democrats get in, it's going to take them maybe a year to clean this disaster up. And then the Republicans will use it as proof that the socialists drove the economy into the ground. It's interesting. Oh, he had 5 sons, 4 daughters, and one of them became a judge. I think he wound up like on the 9th Circuit or something. Some big deal because he's talking about it. His son is a labor secretary. Eugene Scalia. Thank you. Yeah, he's very proud of him. He made it, his son. Oh, Canada's great. I grew up on the border with Canada. We used to go on the weekends. Well, that was fun. That was a happy Halloween, even though I sprained my hand and still have postnasal drip. It goes away, though, after I start talking. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dreamweaver, for volunteering to moderate. Thank you, Michelle Taylor, as well. Yeah, it hurts like a mother. Not good. Did not affect the readings, though. I just said, okay, I'll lay them straight and just pull them out because I can't shuffle. Don't forget to vote, everybody. I did, and I checked, and it's my vote is already accepted. Like they received it. Happy Halloween, everyone. I don't know if anyone else is going to be busy anywhere doing Halloween party, but if they do, you should join. All right. Bye, everyone. Love and light. Thanks for coming. Bye.